Donald Trump is not only evading responsibility for the terrible results of his horrific and moronic actions, he's also picking fights because he's very worried about the up-and-comers in the Democratic Party, and you'll get an example of that in this.
I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said she's the future of the party.
Okay, so nobody is gonna be surprised by Donald Trump saying that. Her name is Crockett, oh my God. Oh, wait, her name is Crockett? Jesus, oh, I can't even imagine how she became a congressperson. And then he goes to the immediate thing that he says, not when he's insulting anyone, but when he's insulting certain types of people, he can't go 5 seconds without saying low IQ. And Jasmine Crockett is for all of the other things that she is, which are admirable or amazing or inspirational or whatever. She is a black woman, and so by definition, she is low IQ. Now, she's also a fighter and she doesn't back down. So she immediately responded to that, saying in a tweet, "For you to be in charge of the whole country, you sure do have my name in your mouth a lot. Every time you say my name, you're reminding the world that you're terrified of smart, bold black women telling the truth and holding you accountable. So keep talking." And Trump has talked about two representatives recently, Crockett and AOC. And he didn't like either of them, both because they're obviously way more charismatic than him, a million times smarter than him. They're generating these big followings, these big audiences, in the case of AOC and the tours that she's doing. And they very likely are the future of the Democratic Party. And Donald Trump, if he is terrified about something, if he is worried about something, he does not have the beginning of the emotional or intellectual capacity to hide that. He has to scream out his fears into your face, and that's what he's doing here. But Jayar, what do you think?
Last thoughts here. This guy, he's afraid. He doesn't like when he's embarrassed like this. The constant news, the slumping polling numbers, the people sometimes asking him what he thinks of all the disasters, the stuff going on with Pete Hegseth, the Department of Justice, Department of Defense, everything, all these dumpster fires that are surrounding him that he keeps starting, that he somehow, I'm not sure if he actually thinks they would get anywhere. He's embarrassed. So there's always an offshoot, and it goes to talking about someone else, angry at this person, insulting that person, because he needs the anger that he's generated amongst his supporters. They get distracted really easily as long as there's another enemy that he can toss their attention to. That's all that was. He's a scared little baby. And he goes after people that he's threatened by. He's threatened by Jasmine Crockett, as you said, and also AOC. This is his frustration being put forward. You're the president of the United States, and you've got all this power, and you're doing anything you want, it seems like at this point. Why are you concerning yourself with these folks that you said you beat into submission? Why you have any energy for them? I thought you have a country to make better.
Yeah.
It's because he doesn't. He's scared.
No, he's terrified, and he's terrible. I want to move from him being terrible to another, well, one individual who's terrible and a platform that is terrible, because I saw that Jasmine Crockett had responded to Donald Trump. So I'm producing the show or whatever, so I have to go to Twitter, which I don't like to do, and I try not to do it anymore, but I have to sometimes for the show. Congresswoman, please go to Blue Sky instead, but for now she's on Twitter. So I go to it, and I get the thing, and I decided, I don't know why would I do this, but I was like, I'm gonna go to the replies. I'm just gonna see what people said about it. And I'm gonna show you a screenshot that I took. It is literally the tweet and the first reply. This is what Twitter wanted me to see. First of all, many replies to this. The first one, here's the screenshot. That's the top reply, some guy, N. Oh, I hope that some of you are such sweet summer children that you don't know what that's a reference to. But I went into his replies and he makes it much more explicit. He uses the word later on. Twitter is like, this is the thing you should see. He pays Twitter, who still let him pay. This is what his account is saying N to people of color that are notable in government society. That had been up for 3 hours, was still the most boosted thing there. I guess it was generating engagement, and that's all that really matters. He might well be getting paid off of that, thanks to Elon Musk's incentive to be radical and insulting and racist and all that. But that was the top thing, Jayar, that I saw. And it told me again, you should not have been on this platform. Why did you do that? That was a waste of your time. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I've been saying this for a minute. They set up on Twitter for the comments are where Twitter makes its money, if you want to say it that way. But it's where all the engagement happens. It's where all the indoctrination happens. It's where all of the propaganda is pushed, because that's why there's so many bots and all that. And just people who want to push that same nonsense. So the comments, no matter what's said, no matter what the original topic is, what's put next to that and what the first 30 comments are exactly what the narrative becomes for the Twitter users that think that's reality, or that's where the world is. And no matter what the topic is, that's where you know your brain is getting rotted and it's time to move on, because all of that is nonsense. All of it is. That's not a mistake. Let's keep it real.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over the weekend, Elon Musk is like, how dare anyone call me a Nazi? Why would you call me mean things? I've done no harm. I've just created taken a platform that had some function at least, and I've turned it into a thing that exists only to advance racism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, all those things. That's what I did. I decided to burn tens of billions of dollars to give racists a chance to make a little money from their racial slurs. Never stop insulting Elon Musk. Driving him away from government should just be the first thing that we get from our campaign of attacks against him.
I'm just waiting on Republicans to start policing each other and say, you guys shouldn't call Democrats names, because if you do, we're gonna lose all elections going forward. The way that mealy-mouthed and scared liberals and Democrats said, yo, listen, if you talk about who they are and describe the Nazis and fascists that they are, you're gonna lose. You can't do that because you're gonna offend Nazis and fascists. So while people are tossing around racial slurs and calling people a bunch of commies and everything, why doesn't it work that way? Why doesn't it work in that direction?
It never does. It never does.